morning, Miss Hankins. Scotty Horn from Horn Plumbing.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for letting us do this project here at your home, and we're going to get started right now, and you'll see the process, and if there's any questions, please let us know.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
The negative health impacts of lead exposure have long been understood. Lead can affect almost every organ in the human body, and children under 6 years old are particularly vulnerable to its effects, including decreases in IQ and new or worsened learning and behavior problems. In 1986, the use of lead pipes in public water systems was banned in an amendment to the Safe Drinking Water Act.
This was an important thing for public health. There are a lot of existing lead pipes.
When present, lead service lines are a significant source of lead in drinking water. Service lines are the pipe that connects the water main in the street to the home.
And what we're trying to do is replace all of the lead service lines.
We do send out letters to all the homes, as well as have meetings with the local community leaders.
I believe the weeks before they were leaving notices on doors saying they were going to be doing some repair work. Once they talked to us about it, they informed us. It was a very easy process to go through after that.
Tenemos también diferentes cuestiones donde participamos en múltiples eventos comunitarios, hacemos diferentes talleres, presentaciones en los diferentes medios de comunicación.
We prioritize areas with vulnerable populations that have a higher risk.
Really focusing on older neighborhoods.
Es simplemente esperar por documentación o porque alguna persona como nosotros toque su puerta y le explique lo que es el programa.
Hi.
Yeah, this is some information from the
Yeah, great.
Siempre estamos platicando y dejándoles saber a la comunidad que este programa está bien hecho.
It's one thing to get a pamphlet or a piece of paper that says, hey, we're going to be doing this process. It's another thing to be able to speak to someone and understand completely.
A service line includes several key components: a pipe that connects the water main in the street to a shutoff valve known as the curb stop, and another segment of pipe that runs from the curb stop to the home. Before replacement, crews will work to identify which buildings have a lead service line and which parts of the service line contain lead. Visual confirmation inside a home is often the quickest way to check for a lead service line.
What that requires is an appointment to get inside the customer's home to identify that material.
After they came out and established there was a lead line there, they went through the process of educating me of what had to get done.
Another way of identifying a lead line is with test pitting. This is a process of digging two small holes to visually identify the line. One will typically be in the sidewalk or street, and the second will be on the customer's property. Ownership and responsibility for the service line, or parts of it, varies from community to community. In some locations, it's from the curb stop to the house. Others may start at the property line or the water main. As the customer, it is important to communicate with the local water system to find out about their program, as some areas do offer free lead service line replacement. Regardless of ownership, it's important that the full lead service line be replaced to mitigate the risk of lead exposure. On replacement day, a construction crew will arrive and block off the site to ensure everyone's safety.
On these construction projects, you see a lot of busyness in the street.
Traffic in the area may be disrupted, and in some cases, there could be a temporary road closure. The crew will start by digging up the areas needed to access the key components of the service line, aiming to be as low impact as possible.
They make excavation in the street and they're digging up the water main. They're going to make a new connection to that water main and connect the new copper service line from the water main into the home.
The crew will turn the water off at the main and begin the replacement. Typically, a replacement will take between 4 and 8 hours to complete.
We're going to shut the water off at the curb stop now, and then that'll allow us to put the hole in the foundation wall and cut the pipe.
They will disconnect the service line from the water main and the major components of the line. And on the inside of the house, the line will be disconnected from the rest of your plumbing.
So far what we did was we removed the old piping to be able to pull the old service out and the new service through.
To replace the lead line, the crew will use one of several methods. They might try pulling the lead line out. This is the preferred method. The crew attaches a new line to the end of the old lead line and pulls it through the ground to replace it.
So we're just gonna watch this puller cable go through and then feed the copper in as straight as possible.
What this device does is it gets dropped into the excavation site and it coils. You attach the old lead service line and it pulls it more laterally out of the ground, which makes for a more successful pull.
If pulling doesn't work, they will use directional boring or a pneumatic gopher to make a hole for the new service line.
We ran a steel cable going inside the home through each excavated pit and pulled 1-inch copper to make that connection.
So it'll allow the plumber to go from this excavation inside to the basement wall without disturbing any grass, pavers, or any of the customer's garden.
If other methods aren't possible, they'll dig a full trench to replace the line. The method chosen depends on factors like the soil, condition of the old line, the house and foundation, and nearby landscaping. After the new line is in, they will reconnect it to the house plumbing and the water main. They'll flush the whole system in your home to clear out lead debris.
So it's actually pretty amazing just to see how the technology and how they do those things. I was picturing piles of rubble, but really not much disturbance at all.
Finally, the crew will focus on restoring your property.
Putting things back together.
Putting the yard back and putting any plants back that were there before we started digging.
Oftentimes, permanent paving, sidewalk repairs, and landscaping occur after replacement day, but will be completed after coordination with other city departments.
They came back out, they completed the task, what they were going to do when everything is better, and especially once you find out what the overall purpose is.
Literally today, you wouldn't even have known that there's a replacement done.
Very thorough in the cleanup, putting things back so it looks the way you want it to look.
Everybody's been really considerate of my home.
You really want to treat that customer's home, both when we're in and we're out, as if it is our own home.
Flushing a service line and home plumbing after replacement is very important, as lead contamination and debris can remain in the home plumbing in the months following.
We also provide flushing instructions to our customers, and it's really important that they follow those instructions after the service line has been replaced.
The replacement crew will flush the service line. They may also flush the home plumbing, but if they don't, this should be done by the resident. Home flushing is done by removing the aerator from a faucet and running cold water for 30 minutes. Start by opening the faucets on the basement floor and then on upper levels until all faucets in the home are open. In the months following a replacement, you should also run cold water for 5 minutes before using any water for drinking or cooking. It is suggested to filter any water used for drinking and cooking with water filters that have been certified to meet NSF and ANSI standards for removing lead. This is especially important for pregnant women or children under the age of 6.
They should be using those pitcher filters for at least 6 months post-replacement.
Want to make sure that we're not increasing the level of lead, even in the short term.
It's also recommended to follow up a replacement with a post-replacement water lab test.
We drop off a kit that contains sample bottles for post-sampling. There's instructions with the kit.
It's important to understand that replacing a lead service line does not eliminate all sources of lead in a home. Other plumbing components, such as brass plumbing fixtures and solder, can also contribute to lead levels in drinking water. Family members may also be exposed to lead from contaminated soil or dust, as well as deteriorated paint.
Just knowing there's lead in the house, I was always like, oh, probably should be replaced.
I was certainly concerned. I have kids. I was concerned about whether or not that might have affected their health.
They upheld their side of the bargain, so to speak, and they were looking out for my family's safety.
I would say anybody that can participate in this program really should.
While the process may be a bit inconvenient, it is worth it. Replacing your lead service line is a crucial step toward improving the safety of your home and community.
It makes you sleep a lot more easier at night. I've heard about lead lines before, I just didn't know that it impacted us. I didn't know that it was this close to home.
A mí personalmente como promotor de salud, creo que este programa es maravilloso.
If you have the opportunity, why not take it?
For more information on your local lead service line replacement program, contact your community's water system.